Hello everyone, I'm Frank. Welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. And take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people. Anyways, today's puzzle is called A Tribute to Al Jaffee by Newbin. And here are the rules. Pretend you're Al Jaffee and have to create a Mad Magazine fold-in. Okay. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means place the digits 1 through 9 in every row, column, and box exactly once. Crop key dots. Cells separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. Cells separated by a white dot are consecutive. Not all possible dots are given. So for example, if this were a 2, this would have to be a 1 and a 1 or a 4 to maintain the 1 to 2 ratio. If this were a 6, this would have to be a 5 or a 7 to make sure that these are consecutive. And that's how crop key dot works. Killer cages. Digits in cages may not repeat in sum to the total in the top left corner. So therefore, these 4 digits must add up to 26. These 4 digits must add up to 12. These 3 digits must add up to 9. Ooh, these 3 digits must add up to 9, etc., etc. Folded. The dashed red lines are folded onto each other. Okay, so therefore this line is folded onto this line, essentially. So that columns 1, 2, 8, and 9 form a secondary grid. So basically, these 2 columns and these 2 columns form a secondary grid. In this grid, all rules apply, except that regions and rows do not need to have all of the digits for obvious reasons. It's a 4x9 grid. Okay, so therefore these 2 columns and these 2 columns forms essentially a separate 4x9 region. And all the rules apply. If, for example, the 20 cage in row 7, column 2, will also form a cage. So these 2 cells in the 20 cage will form a cage with row 8, column 2, row 8, column 2, row 8, column 8, row 8, column 9, and row 8, column 9. Row 9, column 9. Right? Because if you imagine you're folding these 2 lines, this red dotted line with this red dotted line. So you're folding it in, essentially. So you have a piece of paper. You have a piece of paper. You're folding the lines in to meet, like this, right? So you have the red lines here, folding the lines in to meet. And so then you're forming, essentially, a folded area, right? So basically, it's like these 5 columns don't exist in that space. So therefore, you know these 5 digits must add up to 20. And I'm assuming that these boundaries still stay the same. So it's not like it combines into some 1 mega 12 area box here. I think I just assume that these essentially stay the same. So this is a box. This is a separate box. Well, it's a region. It's not really a box. This is a separate region. This is a separate region. And this would be a separate region, for example. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. Now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay. So let's color these just to make sure you remember that. So these are its own separate region. We have 4 digits adding up to 12 here. Therefore, it must be either 1, 2, 3, 6 or 1, 2, 4, 5. Those are the only possibilities. Either way, there has to be a 1 in both 1 and a 2 in the cage in both of them. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, or it's 3, 6 or 4, 5. If this is 3, 6, this has to be 4, 8 specifically. If this is 4, then this has to be 3, 6 specifically, right? So we know 1 and 2 can't be here. We also know 3 and 4 can't be here, and 6 can't be here, because if this is not 6, this is 4, 8, which forces this to be 1, 2, 3, 6. So either way, we know this has to have a 9 and a 7. And let's see, what else do we know? Oh, so similarly, this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we know there is a 1 and a 2. Yeah, they may not repeat. I didn't emphasize that, but basically you cannot have repeats in killer cages. This also has to be 1 through 6. So this is in a 1 to 2 ratio with something, so it cannot be 5. This has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 8. So the 1 and 2 have to be here, which means this can't be 1 or 2. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. But it cannot be 7 or 9, because we know the 7 or 9 has to be one of these two cells here. And again, this cannot be 3, it cannot be 4, and it can't be 6. So this is 5, 7, 8, or 9. Okay. Let's see. These 4 digits add up to 26, so 1 cannot be here. Therefore, this is interesting. So these two with these two add up to 26. Right? What can this be at most? It can only be 9 at most here. Which means this, right? So this has to be 9 at most. Which means if these two are combined, this is 9. This has to be 26 minus 9 at minimum, which is 17. Well, 17 is the maximum you can have for 2 unique digits, and therefore this has to be 8, 9. And this has to add up to 9. So it's either 3, 6, or it's 4, 5. And either way, this has to be 1 and 2. So this is 8 and 9. This adds up to 17. So therefore, these two digits must add up to 9. So it's either 2, 7, 3, 6, or 4, 5. I'm not sure which. But because this is 8 and 9, actually, yeah, we don't have anything else. This can't be 8 here. So this could be 1, 2. It could be 2, 4. Or it's 3, 6. We're not sure which. So this cannot be 1 or 2 because we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in column 7. So that eliminates all 1 or 2. That means this can't be 1 because it needs to be next to a 2 because of the white crop key dots. If this were a 6, this would have to be a 5. Similarly, if this is 6, this would have to be a 5. But then you can't have 4 unique digits adding up to, actually, if this is 5, this could be 4. But if either of these are 6, it would have to be next to a 5. But the problem is 6, 5, 1 already add up to 12, but we need a 4th digit. And that doesn't work. So therefore, neither of these could be 6. Therefore, if this is 5, it would have to be with 4, but that works because this would be 4, 5, 1, and 2, so that works fine. If this is 3, it would have to be next to a 2 because 3 and 4 doesn't add up with 2 other digits, 2 other unique digits to add up to 12. So this cannot be 3. this has to be. So one of this is either 2, 3, or which would make the other two 1, 6. The other two digits in the cage 1, 6, or this is 2, this is 4, 5, in which case this has to be 1 and 2. Either way, the 1 does have to be one of these two cells. We're not sure which. This can't be 6, because if this were 6, that would force both of these to be 1 and 2, which would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. Similarly, neither of these could be 1, because if this is 1, that would force the other one to be 2, and that would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. So this can't be 1, and this can't be 6 specifically. Okay. What else do we have here? We have 3 digits adding up to 11 because these add up to, okay. Interesting. These two cells add up to 14. But this cannot be 8 or 9 because of this 8, 9 pair here in column 2. So and we know the possibilities are 5, 9, or 6, 8. So this must be 5 or 6, which makes this be 8 or 9. Right? 7 and 9 cannot be here. 7 can't be here. Where is 7 in box 6? It must be one of these two cells. 7 has to be one of those 3 cells there. Interesting. This is consecutive with this, but according to the folding in, it would also have to be consecutive with this number. Huh. So, if this were 2 and 3, 2 is consecutive also with 1. So then this would be 1. But the problem is then this 3-digit cage would have to be 1, 2, and then this would be 6, which doesn't work, right? Right, because again, this is 3 consecutive with 2. If this is 2, this has to be consecutive with 1 from the folded, right? So then this is 1, 2, and therefore that must be a 6 because you can't have repeats in the cages, but that only adds up to 9, which is not 12. Therefore, this cannot be 2 and 3. This has to be specifically 4 and 5, which means you have a 4, 5, 4, 5 pair. This can't be 6. This can't be 6. This can no longer be 4 or 5 because if this is 4 or 5, that eliminates all possibilities for that cell. Therefore, this is 3, 6. This cannot be 3, 6. Therefore, that's 4 and 8. This cannot be 8 because of the 4, 8, 4, 8 pair in box 3. And this can't be 4. So this is either 1, 2, or it's 3, 6. This is 5, 7, or 9, so this cannot be 4, 5 because of this 4, 5 pair. The 4, 5 is consecutive. It cannot be with the other 4, 5 because that's here. That would be a 4, 5 pair there. It could be either 3 or 6 here. If it's 3, that would mean this is 3, 4, and 2 at most, which adds up to 9, which is not possible. So this must be 6 consecutive with 5, which makes that a 4. And 6, 5, and 1 specifically adds up to 12. So this can't be 1, this must be a 2. This can't be 6, so this is 5, which means this can't be 8, so this is 9. This can no longer be 6, so this is 3 or 8. This can't be 4, so this must be 8, which means this is a 4 to maintain the 1-to-2 ratio. This can no longer be 3, 6 because that eliminates all possibilities for that cell. So this cannot be 3, 6. Therefore, we know one of these two is 4. It's either 2, 4, or it's 2, 4. Well, if this is 4 and this is 2, we have a problem there, right? Because if this is 4, it requires 2, 3, and 4 to be the set of 3 digits that add up to 9. So this can never be 2. We know 4 is one of these two. If this is 4, this must be 2, 3, and 4. If this is 2, obviously it has to be 1, 2, 6 or 2, 3, 4. It cannot be 2, 3, 4 though. Therefore, if this is 4, this has to be 2 and 3 specifically. And this can't be 2, so this would be 2, and that would be 3. If this is 2, it could be 1 or 6, but this cannot be 1 because this can't be 1 because this 2 would have to make that a 1. So this could have to be 6. So this is 1, 2, or 6. Right, so this is either 4, in which case this is 2 and 3, or this is 2, and this is 1 and 6. Either way, this can't be a 4, which means this can't be 5. We have a 3, 6, 3, 6 pair in row 2, which eliminates 3 and 6 for the rest of the row. So this can't be 3 or 6, which means this can't be 3 or 6. We also have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in row 1, which eliminates 1 and 2 from the rest of the row. So this can't be 2, which means this can't be 7. Okay. This is 9, so these two add up to 20. These two add up to 11, which is 20 minus 9. So it's either 3, 8, so it could be 8 and 3. It could be 4, 7, in which case this would be 4, this would be 7, but it cannot be 5, 6. So 4, 8 with 3 or 7. This has to specifically be 2, 7, or 8. If this were 8, the other 3 digits would have to be 1, 2, 3. But the 2 we know already has to be in this column, so this can never be 8 then. If this is 7, if this is 2, it cannot be with 1 here, so it would have to be with 3 to be consecutive. And then this would be 7 though. And if you have a 7 with 3 other digits adding up to 14, it would have to be 1, 2, 4, and 7. But we know the 2 has to be somewhere along this line, this column. So it cannot be 7 here either. This must be a 2. So this can't be 2, this can't be 2. 7 or 8, obviously is consecutive with 7 or 8, but we have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair in box 9. Excuse me. So 7 and 8 cannot appear in the rest of the box. Therefore, this must be 6 or 9. This is 3 digits adding up to 14. So therefore, this is consecutive. So this must be 6 and 7, which means this is 13. So these 2 digits must add up to 11. It cannot be 2 or 9 because that's a 2 there, which eliminates 2, 9 there. It could be 3, 8. It cannot be 4, 7 because we already have a 7 in the cage, so you can't have duplicates. And it cannot be 5, 6 because we already have a 6 in the cage. Therefore, this is forced to be 3 and 8, which means this can't be 8 because we have a 3, 8 pair in row 4. Sorry, in box 5. We also have a 3, 8 pair in column 4, so this can't be 8, so this is 4 now, which makes this 2. Which makes this 1, which makes this 6. So this can't be 2 anymore. This is a 1, this is a 2. This can't be 6, so this is 3. This is 6, this can't be 2, so this is 5 and 4. We have a 1, 2 in... we have both 1 and 2 already accounted for in these cells. Oh. This is on a 1 to 2 ratio with this digit too. So therefore this must be 2, which makes this have to be a 1. Oh, there you go. This can't be 5. This can't be 8 or 9 here. And that's the only one left with 7, so therefore this must be a 7, which makes this a 9, which makes this 8, which makes this 9. This cannot be 9, this can't be 9. Let's see. This can no longer be 1, so 1 has to be one of these 3 cells here, right? What are the remaining cells, actually? We have 1, 3, 4, and 7. This can't be 1 or 7. This 1 because of that 1 here, and this 7 because of that 7. So this has to be 1, 7, 3, and 4. 1 could be consecutive with 2. 3 can be consecutive with 2 or 4, but 4 is not possible. 4 could be consecutive with 3 or 5. 5 is not possible, so this must be 3 then. This is a 4. 7 can be consecutive with 6 or 8. Those are possible. But if this is 7 and 8, that eliminates all possibilities for that cell. So this cannot be 8. Let's see. What's remaining here? This could be 7. This can be 3, 7. Cannot be 5, though. It could be 6 or 9, though. 3, 7, 6, 9. These are 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, but no 7 is possible because we have a 7, 8 pair in box 9. So this could be 3, 5, 6, or 9, but 9 cannot be here because 9 with 3 other digits at minimum adds up to 15. So this can't be 9. So this must be in consecutive order with this digit. Well, if this only can work if this is 8 and this is 7. Therefore, this is 7. This has to be 8, which means this is consecutive with 7, so this is 6. This has to be 9. So this is a 7, but this cannot be 9 here. This can't be 9 here because of this 9. Right? So none of these two could be 7. We have 5 digits here, which add up to 20. And we have 2 and 7 already. So the 3 other cells in this folded page must add up to 11, which is 20 minus 7 minus 2, which would be 11. And you can't have a 2 or a 7 with it, so that rules out 128. It rules out 137. It could be 146. And then if you try to have a non-1, if you try to have those 3 digits without a 1, that makes 3, 4, and 5, which is at minimum 12, which is too much for this 27. Therefore, it must be 1, 4, and 1, 4, 6. Because it has to be 1, 4, and 6. It can't be 1, 2, 8, can't be 1, 3, 7, because of the 2 and 7 already in the cage. So therefore, it cannot be 3, 4, 5, it has to be 1, 4, and 6. So this has to have a 6, which means this cannot have a 6. So this becomes a 3, 5 pair in column 7, which eliminates 3 and 5 from the rest of the column. This can't be 3, so that makes this a 7. This can't be 3 or 7, so this is 6 then. So this has to be 3 digits adding up to 20. It must be 4 and 7 and 9. This is 3 digits adding up to 14 with a 5. And that means 2 digits adding up to 9. So that would be 1 and 8 possible. 2 and 7 is not possible because we already have a 7 in the row. It could be 3, 6, which would be this is 3 and this is 6. It cannot be 4, 5 because we already have 4, 5. Okay, so this is also 1, 4, 6. This has to be 2, 3, or 8. This is 2, 3, or 8. These 3 digits must add up to 13, and you cannot have a 2, and it must have a 1 or a 4 to go with it. Okay. This can't be 1. Therefore, it's one of these 2. I knew that, though. We have a 3, 8, 3, 8 pair in row 5. So the rest of the row cannot contain 3 or 8. So this must be 1 or 9. This must be 1 or 9. But this can't be a 1 because of that one. So this must be 9, which makes that a 1. So therefore, this can't be 1. Um, these can no longer be 1. This can't be 1, and this can't be 1. Where is the 1 in box 5? It must be here. So this is 1 and 8, which means this cannot be 8. The rest of the cells remaining here are 2, 3, and 6, but this can't be 6, so this must be 2 or 3. Where's the 6 in row 6? It must be here. So this is A6. Now we have a 5, 7 pair here. What else do we have? These 3 digits must add up to 13, so it could be 1, 3, and 9. These remaining cells are 2, 3, and 9. So this is 2, 3, 9, this is 3 or 9, and this is 2, 3, 9. Column 3. This can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 8 in this cell. So this has to be 5, 6, 7, or 9. 2's because of that 2, then 1, 3, 4, and 8 is because of those 4 cells. So what can this be? Well, if this is 9, this would have to be 3 and 1, so that's fine. This can never be 9. If this were 9, it can only be with 1 and 3, but this can't be 3. So this can't be 9. This has to be a 3 then. It means this can't be 3, and this can't be 3, and this can't be 3, so therefore this is 5, and that's a 3. These 4 digits add up to 14. Well, these are 2 and 5 that add up to 14. That add to 7. So therefore 14 minus 7 means this has to be 7. And the only way that this works is if this is 1 and 6. So therefore this is 4. This is 1 and 6, which means we have a 1, 6 pair in the 5 cage. So this can no longer be 1. It has to be 4. Which means this can't be 4. This is a 3, which makes that a 2. Which makes that a 9, which makes that 2. This can't be 3 or 4, so this must be a 1. So this can't be 1. This is 6. This is 1. This cannot be 5. And remember, these 3 digits must add up to 13. Well, this is 3 and 4, so that's 7. So therefore, this must be a 6. This has to be a 4 now because of Sudoku, and now we're just doing Sudoku. So this can't be 2, this has to be 3, which makes that 8, which makes this 2. This can't be 8 anymore, so this is 3, this is 8. Where are all the 2's? We have 8 2's, so that means we can find the 9th one just by figuring out where it can't be, and it cannot be in any of these cells, so it must be here. This is 2. What about 1? We have 8 1's too, so we know where 1 could be. It has to be here. 3, we don't have that many 3's. But we know this could be 3 or 6 here specifically. This can't be 6 though, because of that 6, so this must be 3, which makes that a 6. That's 3 in the corner. We can celebrate. Where's the 3 in box 8? It cannot be here anymore. Therefore, it must be here. So this is 3. This has to be 5. Missing 8 and 9 here, so that's fine. I think we have all the 3. Well, we have 8 of the 3s, so we can find the last one. It has to be here. The 4s, we have 8 of them, so the last one has to be here. 5s, we don't have that many, so we don't know. 6s, we have all 9 actually. 7s are a few, too. What about 8s? We know this is 8 or 9. This must be 7, 8, or 9, but this can't be 9. This is 5, 7, or 9. It can't be 9, so therefore this is 5 and 7. We have a 5, 7, 5, 7 pair in column 5, which eliminates 5 or 7 from the rest of the column. Therefore that makes this an 8, which makes that a 9, which makes that an 8. Therefore this is a 7, which means this can't be 7. This is just now a normal Sudoku. This is 5, this is 7, this is 5, this is 7, this is 5. The last remaining digit in row 3 is a 9, so that's a 9. We're missing a 5 and a 9 in box 8, but this can't be 9, so this makes that 5, which makes that 9. The last remaining digit is an 8 here, and this must be 7. And that's how you solve it. Very interesting, this folding thing. I've actually never seen this in a paired Sudoku. So, pretty cool concept. We could have used these propagate dots more, I feel, because that really limits things across the fold. But that's pretty straightforward either way. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.